What's up, guys? This is Drew's Reviews here with another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about Black Mass. Yes, Black Mass is the gangster movie revolving around the story of infamous, well-known criminal Whitey Bulger. Yes, so this is a true story, and it's a very dark and riveting and intense story at that. And it's interesting to see Johnny Depp take on the role of this guy, because Johnny Depp, over the years, has kind of reprised the same kind of character and the same kind of actions throughout all his movies. He just plays a different character, but he kind of acts in the same manner. And this movie is very different, and I thought he was outstanding as Whitey Bulger. He was very scary, and he fit the role of portraying a scary villain, criminal, mastermind from real life very well. I thought Johnny Depp was super menacing and terrifying as this guy. And this story revolves around how Whitey Bulger's empire grew and how his trades and his communication and his whole storyline drew out and got bigger over time as he got away with all these disastrous murders. And it showed how you really don't want to mess with Whitey Bulger or betray him, because it also featured all the rats who got the terrible, disturbing deaths. Every time this guy walked into the room, you're like, don't F with this guy. This guy is bad news. Do not piss him off. And there's some really emotional scenes with his family, too, early on in the movie, who has a small role about his wife and his young child. And the wife was played by a girl. She looked so familiar, but I couldn't think of where it was. And then I remembered, oh, it's from 50 Shades of Grey, but I never saw the movie, even though that woman's kind of pretty. But let's talk about the other cast. Joel Edgerton, Kevin Bacon, a few other guys whose names I cannot mention. But the rest of the cast is pretty good and solid. They provided the roles very well. I think that Joel Edgerton... Oh, how can I not forget Benedict Cumberbatch? Yes, who played Whitey Bulger's brother, Billy Bulger, who's a politician. And it's mind-blowing and crazy to realize that this criminal's brother was a high-end politician. I mean, how did this happen? How did this happen? But it did. And the story portrayed it very well. I will say this movie doesn't have what you expect from like an action movie, but it's more of a gangster crime drama. And it's based on a true story, which is very well told. And it felt very menacing and scary, all these dark situations. I feel like the movie just goes throughout and just it gets bigger and bigger in the story, and how the investigation of affairs, this federal agent who's played by the guy from Ant-Man, the villain from Ant-Man, comes in towards the end of the movie. He starts to really investigate, like, what's going on? Why do the police keep covering for this Whitey Bulger guy? Because that's what's in the story. Joel Edgerton's character, Johnny, was working with Whitey Bulger, and that's not really a spoiler because you saw that in the trailer, so you know that Whitey Bulger is working with the police force of Boston, and there's a lot of tension and this nervous feeling in the police department on whether they're doing the right thing or not. But these cops know they're doing the wrong thing because they want in on the progress of Whitey Bulger. They want to be part of his clan, and it's really well done in showing the tension and connection between the two. Also, some scenes in this movie where you feel nervous for the characters in the scene, like just a dinner table, and the amount of dialogue and the conversations they had was so nerve-wracking. Like, if he says the wrong thing, this guy's gonna get killed. It was just really dramatic, and they did a very effective job of showing how scary and dangerous these gangsters are, and how this would happen in real life, which it did. And it's horrifying to think that these gangsters would shoot down people in the middle of the street, not giving an F about anything. But yes, this story of Black Mass was told very well. The only thing I would say is that you're not going to expect any action, but it's basically just murders after murders after murders, and it's spread out over time for the right time, and the pacing is done very well in this movie. The cinematography was pretty good, not as good as some other movies, one that came out this weekend, but Black Mass overall is a good movie, and I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yes, this movie was really, it was pretty good for what it was and telling the story of Whitey Bulger. And I recommend it to anyone who likes gangster crime dramas. It's a good movie.